This afternoon and evening, we have the potential for a severe weather outbreak across parts of our state. Let's take a look at the newest trends early this afternoon. Looking here at satellite, if you look closely, you can see where our backdoor cold front has charged inland off the lake, dropping temperatures nearly 20 degrees into the 40s across northeastern Illinois. This front will eventually stall out just south of I-80, and it's along and just south of this front where the main area of concern is for tornadoes, potentially several. It's south of this front where the sun has been out, temperatures are nearly 70 degrees, and moisture has been pooling all day. This front will provide a focus for potentially long-track, significant tornadoes later this afternoon through this evening. This could be a significant tornado outbreak for areas along and especially south of I-80 through north-central Illinois, and we don't say that very often. Over the next few hours, this front will stall south of I-80, and again this will be a focal point for wind shear later on. If storms can latch onto this front after they develop, we're looking at the potential for some long-track tornadoes this afternoon and evening. We should see the first few storms bubble up around 2 to 3 p.m., somewhere across north-central Illinois most likely. Again, anything that develops near this front will have to be watched extremely closely. This is a very supportive atmosphere for tornadoes, and guidance showing discrete supercells is definitely not a good sign. Thunderstorm coverage and intensity increases later this afternoon and especially this evening as the low pressure approaches. In addition to the tornado threat, a very large hail threat will also be present, and this will not just be limited to south of the warm front. Everyone across northern Illinois, including Chicago, has the risk of large hail later on. This is our updated severe outlook, and a very rare level 4 out of 5 has been issued for the areas in orange here. This is where we're most concerned for numerous tornadoes later today, and we advise everyone in this orange zone to have a way to receive warnings today. North of I-80, the cold air should be enough to significantly weaken the storms at the surface as they cross over the warm front, so the risk for much of far northern Illinois while north of I-80 is more for a hail risk. Again though, it all depends on exactly where that front stalls over the next couple hours, but if you're feeling cold air right now, that likely means that the highest tornado threat is south of you. Looking again here at future reflectivity, we expect storms to initiate in the next 1 to 2 hours or so as the cap breaks. Once storms do develop, they'll likely become severe extremely quickly, so things may ramp up quite fast over the next few hours here. This particular model is especially concerning because it develops multiple rounds of supercells right on that warm front all the way into the late evening hours, so that means multiple rounds of severe storms are in the cards for some of us today, unfortunately. Again, we want to reiterate that the highest tornado risk is south of that front that pushed through the area this morning off the lake. This is that same model's take on rotation tracks with these storms. It kind of has two distinct waves, the first one developing around 2 to 3 p.m., but confidence in storms developing this early is not 100%. But as the low pressure moves closer this evening, by 5 to 6 p.m. or so, storms will become more widespread. When a model shows this many swaths of strong rotation tracks over similar areas, we get pretty concerned. This really is a day that everyone should take as seriously as possible. Here's a nice graphic from the National Weather Service, showing who's under the gun for what later on. North of that front, including Chicago and a good chunk of the metro, it'll be mostly a hail and flooding threat tonight. But south of I-80, where the front lies, all modes of severe weather are likely, and it's possible, if not likely, that numerous tornadoes will occur in these areas south of I-80. We don't use this kind of wording often at all, but please have a way to receive warnings the rest of the day today, as things might get quite nasty later on. Stay tuned to ISC for further updates.